Ticketmaster pledges scalper crackdown, but fans still miss out.
Trump awarded Richard Nixon Booby Peace Prize days after Nobel snub. In a world where prizes are consolation, the irony of winning a peace prize named after Nixon is not lost on anyone paying attention.
Age-defying feats in Jakarta remind us that sometimes the only rings worth chasing are the ones you conquer with grit, not cash.
Petition against unrestricted superintelligence gathers 8,000 signatures, 5,000 from one petition. In a world where AI might outsmart us all, we've resorted to signing digital sheets, hoping the future lead our desperate plea for moderation.
Chinese government proposes power supply stabilization, potentially strangling market liquidity like squeezing juice from a stone.
Urgent protection needed for Earth's underground fungi networks, study warns. Turns out mushrooms are the unsung heroes of our ecosystem, quietly holding the planet together while we argue over who gets to destroy it first.
A browser boasts perfect privacy protection and snoops like an ex with your Netflix password. Promising privacy while acting like spyware is the digital age's sleight of hand. Watch your data vanish while they wave their shiny claims.
Socialist critic of NATO and EU nears victory in Ireland's presidency race. In a twist that could make a leprechaun blush, Ireland seems ready to embrace a leader who might just send Brussels and Washington a postcard from the edge of conventional diplomacy.
California proposes a 5% wealth tax on billionaires, promises it'll trickle down like champagne at a frat party. When the richest scream about a tax, remember, they've got more accountants than you've got socks.
Ten stocks poised for growth in S&P 500's cheapest sectors. In a market where optimism feels like a forgotten relic, these stocks promise the kind of growth that makes a tortoise look like a sprinter on vacation.
Only 2% of Lil Josh tracks are streamable, and Spotify calls it exclusive content. When your music's harder to find than a unicorn in a snowstorm, maybe it's time to diversify your playlist.
Coffee futures hit a record high, but your morning brew isn't getting cheaper. Looks like your caffeine addiction just got a price hike. Thanks to a perfect storm of tariffs and crop concerns, better start rationing those beans or switch to instant if your taste buds can handle the betrayal.
Only 23% of Hispanics support Trump now, and he calls it unifying the nation. When your approval drops faster than a mic at a comedy roast, maybe it's time to reconsider your script.
Windows faces 2 new 0 days affects all versions ever shipped. Just when you thought your OS was safe, Windows reminds you that nostalgia isn't always comforting, especially when it comes with a side of rampant vulnerability.
Trump axes Canada trade talks once more because Ontario dared to feature Reagan in an ad, proving nostalgia is a dangerous game. When diplomacy hinges on TV commercials, international relations become a soap opera where the plot is as thin as the patience.
Microsoft overhauls Outlook with AI, promises productivity revolution. If you thought your emails couldn't get any more robotic, hold on to your keyboards.
NATO's ex-chief accuses alliance of failing Ukraine, while Washington plays the defeatist violin in a symphony of geopolitical apathy. When your allies let you down, the soundtrack of international politics becomes a dirge, and hope is left wandering in the minor key.
Scientists warn dimming Earth may ignite chaos, not calm. When the solution sounds like a sequel to a disaster movie, maybe it's time to rethink our addiction to quick fixes over lasting change.
Swedish government shutters cultural hub, Hamlet storms, Dramaten protest. When even the Prince of Denmark throws a fit over art cuts, you know the kingdom's in chaos. To be or not to be? Apparently not to be funded.
Military budget shortfall threatens troop paychecks with deadline looming. When soldiers are left counting pennies while defense contracts bloat, you have to wonder who's really being served by national defense priorities.
When a country star becomes a protester, expect the chorus to drown in outrage while the verses spark a revolution.
When halting progress is considered a diplomatic strategy, it's less about peace and more about maintaining a status quo that only benefits the powerful.
Trump targets change for doing the right thing, and justice gets a new definition. When integrity becomes a vendetta, you've entered the upside-down world of politics where the hero is villainized and the villain throws the parade.
Spotify runs ICE recruitment ads about dangerous illegals, claims it's within policy. Nothing says chill vibes like a playlist interrupted by xenophobia, proving that even your favorite tunes can be accomplices in the fear factory.
The government releases inflation data days late, claims it's a timely update on our financial doom. It's like showing up to a funeral with a birthday cake. Timing is everything unless you're the government. Then it's just another day, another dollar lost.
Trump's investment in Intel yields returns, yet dominance remains distant. When your best business move is government handouts, it's less about innovation and more about knowing which strings to pull in Washington.
Bernie Sanders reports $80K splurge on private jets, then condemns America's oligarchic form of society without a hint of irony. It's a bird, it's a plane. No, it's a socialist on a jet, fighting the 1% from 30,000 feet, one private flight at a time.
Arizona Attorney General sues House over seating Adelita Grijalva, proving dysfunction isn't just for reality TV. When politicians need a courtroom to do their jobs, maybe we should elect judges instead.
Canada slashes GM Stellantis tariff break on U.S. autos, calls it fair.
Netanyahu's party dismisses annexation bill, calls it trolling. When international diplomacy resembles a high school drama, You wonder if governing is just an elaborate role play with real world consequences.
In a world where music and wrestling collide, who needs harmony when you can have headlines? Call it avant-garde or just a cry for help.
Google Music charges $20 for a playlist, but Death Wish Casanova's Half Awake is free on Reddit. When your best rock discovery is buried in a comment thread, it's not just algorithms that need a wake-up call.
IXM replaces CEO Ives after 3 years because why settle for stability when you can have a corporate carousel? In the thrilling world of metals trading, leadership changes more often than a teenager's TikTok bio, ensuring that the only constant is corporate chaos.
After foreclosure threat, Bill Cosby sells townhouse for $29 million. When your financial recovery plan involves selling a mansion for millions, it's clear the definition of hard times is as flexible as the law.
EU guarantees financial support for Ukraine until 2027 because who needs peace when you can just buy time? With promises as firm as a politician's handshake, frozen Russian assets could thaw just in time to keep the metaphorical ice rink of geopolitics nice and slippery.
Royal Navy intercepts Russian warship, then calls it routine. In a world where routine involves playing chicken with potential global conflict, maybe it's time to redefine what routine really means.
Liverpool loses to Brentford, marking their fourth straight Premier League defeat. When your defense crumbles like a wet paper bag, it's time to rethink your strategy, not just your jerseys.
Australian scientists study snake bites with slow motion footage because nothing screams innovation like warming up Jell-O to pretend it's dinner. Turns out, snakes strike faster than a politician dodging a question and just as slippery when it comes to getting any real answers.
Eastern meditation promises relief from monkey mind, but often the monkey wins. True wealth isn't peace of mind, it's the endless pursuit of calm, while your mind does cartwheels over unpaid bills and existential dread.
Apparently, international diplomacy is now a relay race, with Rubio sprinting in to ensure the ceasefire holds like a house of cards in a wind tunnel.
Supreme Court hears Bernanke and Yellen slam Trump's tariffs as economic fiction. When former Fed chairs unite against your policies, it's safe to say your economics class needs a serious refresher.
J.D. Vance blames left for political violence, calls it statistical fact. When convenient narratives replace nuanced truths, facts become as bendable as a politician's promise.
The Federal Reserve plans to raise cuts after inflation dips because nothing fights economic fires like a Ukraine splash of water. In a world where inflation took place, the Fed wields its mighty scissors, trimming rates like a cautious gardener pruning a plastic tree.
Bruce Springsteen sneaks into therapy, afraid of being recognized. Even the boss needs a break from being the boss. When the man who sings about glory days needs a disguise, the stigma's still winning.
Marjorie Taylor Greene praises Trump's $300 million ballroom because nothing says populism like a palace for the elite.
Female spies seduce Silicon Valley, steal secrets by marrying tech workers. When espionage turns into a Tinder date, love and corporate espionage both find a way to breach your personal firewall.
Senate drafts bill on notwithstanding clause calls it clarity, but it's just legalese for do as we please. In the grand circus of governance, the Senate juggles with constitutional loopholes, crafting a magic trick where laws mean whatever they want, whenever they want.
Josh Hawley defends SNAP benefits after voting to cut them. It's like throwing a life raft after shooting holes in the ship. Hawley's got more faces than a Rubik's Cube, and none of them match.